my gosh. So many things to consider. Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC experience. We're so glad you're here. We have Julian Cunningham with us today. Yes, please stand and sing. Your soul is welcome here.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. My soul's welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 Getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome
Good morning, Reverend James.
Good morning, Reverend Deborah. Good to see you this morning. And your soul is welcome here, as is everyone else's.
And we greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred.
and in the warm and loving energy of this ministry, Spiritual Life Center. And if you are here with us for the very first time today, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident, that everyone is here by divine appointment. And we're just thrilled to see everybody with us this morning. And we're also thrilled when you remember to take those ringy-dingy thingies out of your purse and silence them. And we really appreciate that. Thank you.
We do that so we can have that direct connection with the presence uninterrupted. So let's take a moment and connect with this presence. A presence that is changeless. A presence that is always for us and never, ever against us. A presence that is pulling us, cajoling us to be the highest expression of what we've come here to be. As we make this presence the activity of our awareness, then we begin to see how we are seen when we're at our best. We call this presence so many different names, but our job is to call it forth as the activity of our awareness, our consciousness, so that every thought we have, every word we speak, and everything that we think, as well as do in our world, is a reflection and radiates this energy. And as more and more of us begin to radiate the truth of our being, we begin to see it reflected back to us in our world. Because we indeed are the way that this presence shapes the world that we see. And so we know that everyone here is an expression of this presence and presents this presence in their own unique ways. And today is a good day because we're in it. Thank you, God. Amen. And if anyone has a birthday today.
Besides, you know who?
Yes. This month?
Jesus.
Yes. Besides Jesus. If anybody had a birthday in the month of December, we're going to acknowledge you today.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And you're going to continue on with some announcements?
I am.
Paula.
I'm going to continue on with that Jesus story for a minute because this season is all about that, isn't it? All about Jesus. So we have our beloved candlelight services coming up on the 19th, Wednesday the 19th, and on the 24th. And part of that is that we portray characters and elements from the Nativity as metaphysical meanings for what that can mean in our life, and we have people portray these parts. And so we are looking for some fresh new faces to come forward and audition for some of those parts: the star, the manger, the wise men, Mary, Joseph, Jesus, the angels. So there are scripts on the cashier table today, and also online if you'd like. We're going to have auditions for these parts today after second service at 12:30, and then again on Tuesday. That's either or, Tuesday at 5:30. If we encourage you to come and try out for a part, and so pick up a script, and we'll have readings for the audition. And we'd ask that you would choose your primary choice, what resonates most with you, and a second choice. And come and read, and let's see what beautiful nativity we can produce for our candlelight services. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
And when I break into theater, I want to start out as the manger.
Manger is good. The manger has a very, very important part to play.
No question.
So Wednesday, the WOW program this week is the Afro-Caribbean drum circle, and with Dominic Garcia. And then if that's a little too enthusiastic for you, if you just want a choir to experience, I will be over in the chapel with the spiritual exploration discussion. And we start at 6, or the soup is at 6, and we start the program at 7. And the rest of the month for WOW is we have the Advent Spiral Circle or Garden on December 12th. We have the candlelight service on December 19th, and there will be no soup. And on December 26th, there's no service, and there's no soup.
Okay. No soup or service on the 26th. That's pretty clear. Well, I just want to let you know that the Interfaith Council of Greater Sacramento is holding its annual event, United We Stand. It's going to take place Thursday, December the 6th at 6 p.m. at the Salam Center. And the purpose of that program this year is to send a message of support to those affected by the fires, either in Paradise or Southern California, to also support those who have been affected by the shootings that have taken place this past year. And there'll be all the faiths that will be present, including representatives from Unity, just to hold prayer and to express our support. So that's the United We Stand event at Salam, December the 6th, which is Thursday at 6 p.m.
And Janee, I think you have a few words for us about your upcoming class.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I didn't come through the middle. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
So on Thursday, December the 13th, in the middle of your holiday hustle and bustle, we're offering the opportunity to come together with your spiritual family and take a deep dive into the silence. In my experience, it's in the silence that we really come to know the truth of who we are and embody that and bring it into our day-to-day lives. And when we come together to do this practice, it seems that we can go even deeper, where that 2 or more are gathered. There's real power in that joining. And I'd also, I made this announcement at first service, and then I listened to Julian sing the song after meditation, and that could have been our announcement today. So when you listen to that song, if this is something that speaks to you and you're touched by it, please come join us. It's on a love offering basis, and all the proceeds go to Spiritual Life Center. So come be a blessing to yourself and your community and the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Janee. Just a reminder that we have our annual Giving Tree program, and you can pick an ornament with a child's name on it, as well as their age, and the wish list that's on the back of the ornaments that are in the courtyard. And you have a chance to bring some magic to their lives during this holiday season for those who are seeking that. And there's more information in your bulletin that tells you about the Giving Tree program, as well as that what's available at the table in the courtyard.
And everyone is invited to our youth education celebration, and it is Rockin' the Stockings with Divine Shine on 12/9.
All right.
There's cookie decorating, there's festive crafts, there's goodies to eat, and as I said, everyone is welcome.
Just a reminder, you still have an opportunity to participate in the Paradise Campfire Hope Raiser. Spiritual Life Center and Unity of Oroville have joined together to give hope to those who have lost their homes and other things in the fires that took place in Paradise. And just an announcement that our tithing committee made a recommendation. It was approved by our Board of Trustees to donate $1,100 each to Unity of Oroville, as well as the Center for Spiritual Living in Paradise to support their congregation who lost their homes in the fire. And in the meantime, you can still leave a donation of either cash or gift card at Spiritual Life Center. And the recommendation is to get gift cards either from Walmart, Target, or bring a Visa, American Express, or MasterCard that provides a greater range of opportunities to get things for the folks that are going through their challenge right now. And it can be any amount, and you can, if you have some today, you can bring them to the chaplain table, or you can bring it during the week to our here at our center. So it's a heartfelt thanks for all those who have been supporting this program. And also just a reminder that those who are interested in the Cuba trip is going to take place in December. The deadline for the deposit is for this guided travel is this Friday, I believe, December the 7th. So there's more information. I believe you can go on our website. All the details are there.
And I would like to introduce some very special people now with our ambassadors, Board of Trustees, and prayer chaplains. Please stand. The ambassadors wear the rainbow ribbons, and they are here to greet you and talk with you and show you different ways of becoming connected here at Spiritual Life Center. The Board of Trustees wear purple ribbons on their name badges. They serve for three-year terms, and they're here to guide, share, and shape and provide oversight for our community. And they are also people you can talk with about how you can become involved at SLC. And our prayer chaplains are here to hold us all in confidential prayer during our human journey of joy as well as challenge. They wear their white stoles. And they will be in the sanctuary and in the courtyard to pray with you after service. And especially if you are new, see your bulletin. It has program services that are here to support you in living more fully in your ever-expanding life.
And if you're here for the very first time, in a moment we're going to ask you to raise your hand to receive a gift from us. In the meantime, we want you to know about the opportunities that are available to get connected here at Spiritual Life Center. And we'll give you a welcome card that if you choose, you can fill out and turn it in at the offertory segment of our program, or take it directly to the welcome table in the courtyard, and get another warm welcome and gift from whoever's there today. So if you're here for the very first time, any first timers, raise your hand. I'll just keep your hand up nice and high. Thank you very much for bringing your presence with us this morning. And one of the things we're going to give you right now is a chalet. And we request, we invite you to wear that chalet to get that special Spiritual Life Center greeting. And on the chalet, there's a tag. And the tag is for all of us to remind us who and what we really are. And it says, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And there are many paths to the one God. So we thank you for joining us on your path with us today. And we invite folks around you to greet you and thank you for being here. Just say, you are marvelous. And greet each other and say, you are marvelous. Glad you are here today.
I see God in every moment.
You guys know this one. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I see God in every moment as I stand within this life, and there's a newness in me rising to an ever greater height. So won't you join me on this journey, rising to your greater sin? And we will fly away together into healing, into health, into our healing. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I feel God in every moment. Though I'm standing in the dark, and there's a struggle in me stirring that's trying to
to find some part of life that ties it all together, making real some deeper truth. And we will dive into our freedom, into me, into you, into our freedom. I feel God in every moment. I feel God in every moment. Ooh, I feel God. I feel God in every moment. Every moment, I feel God in every moment. Ooh,
I see God.
I see God. I see God in every moment. I see God in every moment. Ooh, I see God.
So, as we dive deeper and deeper into living with nothing and no one against us, as we wake up and we grow up and we show up and we clean up, we've been speaking together our shadow cards as a community, as we determined when we met a few months ago. So I invite you to speak that aloud together. Please have compassion for us when we are being not enough, distrusting, grieving, blaming, powerless, and fearful, because this is who we've come here to be: inspired, in integrity, joy-filled, compassionate, unstoppable, generous, and transformational. And let's embody all of those beautiful qualities of shadow and light as we speak together our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now, in preparation for meditation, we will sing this beautiful chant, all good, all good.
All good, holy, holy. All good, holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Let me know all is good, holy, holy. All love, sing, all love, holy, holy. All love, holy, holy. All in my mind, in
As we move into this time of meditation, let's breathe together. All good, all good. Holy, holy. All in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Holy, holy. Breathe that in, deep into your belly. Feeling your belly rise with each breath. With each breath, softening. With each breath, relaxing. Relaxing your body and calming your mind. And as you breathe, bring your attention to your heart. Your beautiful heart. And begin breathing through your heart. Breathing in and breathing out. With each breath, feeling your heart space expanding. Expanding with love. Joining all hearts. Joining the one heart, God's heart. And we notice what's already here, fully present. This love, this peace, this joy. This is what you really are. Right where you are is holy ground. You are how God brings joy to the world. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. And the Lord has come to your heart and to my heart. One heart. Our heart and God's heart are very old friends. No matter what is happening outside of ourselves, joy is here. God is here. So when our outer world seems chaotic and cold, we slow down and we breathe. And we look within and we remember who we are. The living love of God. You are the light of the world. And you are here to shine brightly, especially in times of darkness. Be the light. Be love. be the joy of Christmas. So as we move into the silence, rest in the love of your Creator, in the love of your God.
Silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's a release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that can never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that can never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find God, I find myself.
Yes, very nice. Thank you, Julian. I was thinking about, as he was singing that song about in that silence I find myself, about two very good friends who had not seen each other for many years. You know, one lived in Europe and the other lived in the United States. And so he decided to fly across the pond, so to speak, to be with him, to get reacquainted. And what they did, they just walked around in the silence for like 3 or 4 hours. They never said a word to each other. And then after those 3 or 4 hours were done, one of them said, well, I think we spent enough time reacquainting ourselves with each other. And they went about their day. You know, Charles Phillips, the co-founder of Unity, said something to the effect that all power is found in the silence. Everything else is nothing more than evidence of a spent vibration. So we go to that secret place where all the power is. You know, as we celebrate, you know, the season of the lights this month, in which individuals will celebrate Hanukkah, others will celebrate maybe Kwanzaa, others will celebrate, of course, Christmas. Oftentimes we look at the outer things, but the real power is when we go within. And so thinking about Christmas, I thought about a story about Jesus, the Christ. It's not one of those stories found in the Bible. And apparently there was a gentleman he was a burglar. That's what he did for a living. It's around Christmas time, and he decided that he needed to get his Christmas items. So he broke into somebody's house. And it was dark, and he was rummaging around, and all of a sudden he heard a voice that says, Jesus sees you. And he was startled for a moment. He stopped momentarily, and he continued on, and he heard that voice again say, Jesus sees you. So he took out his flashlight and started, flashing around, and he saw in the corner that there was a parrot in the corner. And the parrot just kept reciting, Jesus sees you. And as he continued on, doing his thing, the parrot said it one more time, Jesus sees you. He said, well, I'm not worried about Jesus. Jesus can't do anything to me. He's not here. And the parrot said, Jesus sees you. And he went around his business. And finally, when he said, Jesus sees you, and the guy didn't respond, the parrot said, sick 'em, Jesus. And a Doberman came out the side door and ran him away. Well, I think here in this season, we're here to really discover what this teacher Jesus discovered within himself. Because we like to say in this teaching that he was the great example of our possibilities. He was not the great exception. He was a possibility of the models of what we can be. And if I were to sum up the essence of, the scriptural references that talk about him, it's probably summed up in these words found in Colossians, the first chapter, in the 26th verse and 27th verse, and it says, it is the Christ in you that is the hope of glory. The essence of that message. Because the Christ is not a person, it's a principle. It wasn't Jesus' last name, as I like to say from time to time, where we may think there was Joseph Christ, Mary Christ, a little Jesus Christ. No. It's a principle. It's the image of God that we all have. It's the Spirit of God within us. And I believe that the master teacher lived out this Christ presence so completely that they called him the Christ. But this Christ presence that is known by so many different names is within all of us. And it's been around forever. In fact, it's attributed that Jesus said that before Abraham was, I am. And I am is the ancient name of the Christ. It's the name of the universal God, that Spirit of God in all of us. And as we head into this season, probably the greatest way to celebrate the mass expression of the Christ, or the Christmas season, is to acknowledge that that's within ourselves. I think this is our mission here on the planet, should we choose to accept it. And it's a joyful mission, and we don't have to really do anything but be open to it. Let it come out of us. We don't have to really have anything great outside of ourselves to bring forth this joy because it's natural. You know, I was running across some YouTube videos the other day, and I asked Autumn to pull up a little something just to remind us that there is some natural joy we all have. We have this little child that's in his little seat there, and he's going to do something that comes naturally to all of us. Well, you get the point. It comes out naturally within us. We were born with that joy within us. You know, there's something that says in the scriptural references that if we want to enter the kingdom of the ever-expanding good, we must come in as a little child. And so we're talking about the joy of being holy, the joyousness in that. And we want to activate that natural joy that's within us that maybe somehow has been taught out of us as we've gone through life. So we look at some of the things that the master teacher said to help us bring forth that joy, that natural essence that we have. Because he reminded us that we grow from within out. And we're not waiting for anything outside of ourselves to intervene for this essence to come out of us. Because this New Thought, Ancient Wisdom teaching is not about the business of waiting for a Messiah or a great teacher to save us. This teaching is not about waiting for external conditions to change before we live the good life, the joyous life. This teaching is not about individuals waiting for us to change or for them to change, for us to have that teaching within us to be expressed. Really, it's all about expressing what's already within us. It's beginning to shine what's within us so that we can demonstrate it in every aspect of our life. And that happens when we begin to follow what I call the universal principles and understanding of who and what we really are as children of God. You know, I'm doing some writing on a topic, there is no God like that, kind of challenging some of the beliefs that we have about the presence of God. And one of the things I realized is that Jesus didn't teach Christianity. He taught a universal spiritual truth that others converted into what has become a Christian movement that he would probably consider to be unrecognizable. And I always like to say that if he looked at some of the teachings that are presented in his name, he would say, I think you all got it all wrong. We got to start all over again. I think he came here to really redeem us from formal religion, redeem us from the mere letter of the law, so we can have an immediate at-one-ment or experience with this presence. We don't have to go through anything, anyone, any intermediary. It is always there for us. So we look for clues on how we can get there. Because he lets us know that we grow in the direction of our spiritual intention and where we give our attention. So we hear him saying something to the effect, the measure you give is the measure you shall receive. And during this season, we're reminded of the consciousness of real and authentic giving. You know, there was a research project done by a group of people. And they gave everyone some money. And they told half the people to spend it on themselves, and the other half to spend it on other people or to give it away to charity. And those who gave their money away, they discovered something over time. Their happiness increased. So for others, their blood pressures went down. Their stress seemed to be reduced. Some of their illness began to go away. They began to live longer than those who simply kept it for themselves. You know, some people think that if they give of themselves, that somehow they'll be depleted or diminished. And they live life, what I call them the layaway plan, and save their life today so they can live it tomorrow. So they're not releasing the energy. They're not releasing the spiritual ideas. And they're waiting for something to come forth that is already within them. But we want to invest in these spiritual qualities as our life. So we're told by the Master to give, to share ourselves. We've been programmed in many respects, particularly around this time of the year, to be consumers. And we take that into our spiritual life. But we're not here to be consumers, we're here to be investors. And whenever we invest in something, there's always a return. It comes back to us. I remember when my son Jalen was much younger and shorter than I am now. And we used to go to a place called Chuck E. Cheese. Some of you know about Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese is famous amongst the youngsters. And we went to Chuck E. Cheese, and we had bought a whole bunch of tokens. That's what you need in order to get on the rides and do all the different things there. And there was a little child there that didn't have any more tokens, had run out of tokens. And Jalen, just out of his heart, just naturally just gave him some of his. Of course, he didn't have to pay for them, so it didn't really matter to him. But he gave her some of his tokens, and we went about our business. He went about his business. And then a little bit later on, she came just tracking him down. Because after you get on the rides, and I guess you get certain scores, you get these tickets that you can get some more stuff from. And so she came with all of these tickets and tracked him down and gave away all his tickets to him. Goodness and mercy will track you down when you start giving. When you start giving stuff out, it comes back to you in ways you never imagined. And this reminds us that whenever we're in doubt, that we're here to share, and it brings out the joy that's within us. So we're leaning on the principle that life is good and there's no limitation anywhere in God's great universe. But there's another thing that we can do to activate that natural joy that's within us, and that's to be careful how we judge another person. Because again, Jesus said something to the effect, do not judge by appearances, but use right judgment. So we want to be careful how we judge, or I should say misjudge others, either by our words or by our thoughts. Because our language has a way of helping set in motion our particular experiences. There was a doctor who had a patient who was very depressed and had a lack of joy in his life. And he noticed that he had a lot of resentful thoughts, and he used to criticize his friends and his coworkers and had a sharp edge to the words that he used. And he said to the man who apparently was so desperate to relieve himself from his depression that he was willing to have it beat out of him. And the doctor said, well, you don't have to go that far. I have something less drastic to suggest for you to do. He told the man to constantly halt his vengeful impulses and to refuse as best he could from turning his hostile thoughts into hurtful comments or punitive actions, and just do this for like 1 year. In much less time than a year, that person became much better in his way of being. His depression went away, and his joy in his life began to return. And that particular physician said that never, ever allow yourself to entertain malicious thoughts under any circumstances, no matter what the provocation, no matter how you think they may be justified. And he says that when you forgive or release any resentment toward another person, you're not doing them a favor. All we're doing when we hold on to that is that we're hurting ourselves by carrying a grudge. And he said that's no way to live life. And when we do that, we stop our own joy. But as one individual said, if you really want to turbocharge your joy, practice rejoicing in another person's good. Knowing that whenever one person is lifted up, we're all lifted up because we're all interconnected on a spiritual level, on a soul level. And we cannot really boost our joy unless we rejoice in the good of people around us, even the people we do not like or as this person said, especially the people that we do not like, to rejoice in their good. Now, sometimes that's a little hard. You look on the news and you see some people doing some unusual things. You don't want to rejoice in any good in their life. But this person said, well, think of your so-called worst enemy. Not that we have anything like that. Or think of someone that you may be at odds with. And but desire within your heart the very thing you want for yourself. If you want love, if you want joy, give it to them. If you want abundance and creativity, give it to them. If you want good in your life, give it to them. And if you really want to take it to the next level, if you have some odds with a person, send them a love note. You can send it anonymously. And then if you want to just step it to the next level, put some money in it. And it'll knock out anything that's blocking that joy within you. We grow in wisdom when we do that. Because we cannot permanently keep what we're not willing to share. We cannot currently keep what we're not willing to give away. We cannot permanently keep what we're willing to shine and have shine in other people. When I was doing a lot of 12-step work, you have people that you sponsor. And sometimes if you're going through a challenge or a problem, my sponsor would say that's when you need to help another person, to give them what you have. Because you cannot keep what you're not willing to give away, as they say. Emily Cady said something to the effect that no person or thing in the universe or chain of circumstances can interpose itself between you and the all good. And so like those little babies that we saw in that YouTube video, we can laugh at any time. We don't need a reason at all. It's already there within us. It's a joy that we let out from within us. Some people postpone their joy because they believe joy is dependent on something outside of themselves happening before they can experience it, while realizing it's an essence that we have all of the time. It's not found in outward things. It's not found in anything around us. We may get temporary excitement, but that goes away. I was thinking of a young doctor who had went through medical school. And he was a straight A student. He got all A's the whole time, but he said he was a failure. And the reason that he said he was a failure is that because he had put so much emphasis on the grade that every time he enrolled in school for the semester, that I think he used to take tests every 4 weeks. And he would feel anxiety just before the test. Then he would get a great grade. He'd feel good for a minute. And then the anxiety would start all over again because he knew in another 4 or 5 weeks he had to do it all over again. He said he used to study 5 or 6 hours every single day for the 4 years that he was here. That he'd go to bed at night and he'd remember all the PowerPoints and read that before he went to sleep. He said he would go into a shower. He had a waterproof Bluetooth sound system so he could listen to all the lectures over and over again and not waste a moment at all. But he said at the end of that time, he realized he was a failure because he had put so much emphasis on something outside of himself that his joy disappeared. And he said once he got out, he realized that he had forgotten about the things that brought him joy. Being around his friends, playing the saxophone in the band, just hanging out with other people. And he realized that that's where the joy really was. And it wasn't based upon something outside of himself that he thought defined who he was as a human being or even as a physician. I think in some ways God wants us to be in joy all of the time. Now we maybe say, well, maybe not all the time. What about just, when the weekend gets here, TGIF, it's Friday. Or maybe it's Friday Eve, Thursday night, at least I can start feeling some joy. But all of the time, nah, can't be. But yes, I think God wants us to be in joy all the time. We want to affirm that. The surface mind would say, nah, I don't think so. But I think it was Maya Angelou that said something to the effect that you may not be able to control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Things will happen to us. Things will happen around us. But ultimately, what really matters is what happens through and as us. And we can always tap into that joy because it's a quality we always have. It's the gift of the eternal. It's the gift of God. It's a place of unconditional love and service and compassion, generosity and beauty and creativity. And when we bring that out, we benefit. I think we're here to glow and grow from that area. You know, I had a person ask me one time that was very much involved in spirituality and these teachings and how much of a difference it made in their life. And they wanted to know how they can somehow get another person to see what they saw, to kind of bring them into the fold, so to speak. And I was saying that, well, we don't proselytize. We don't try to make another person believe what we believe, which means that we don't try to convert another person. We don't try to bring them into a particular theology. What we're here to do is prove the principles to such a degree that we begin to shine and radiate with that vibration that is always there, so that those who see us, they see the God presence that we are. Therefore, we don't have to go on a path trying to convert other people by getting up early in the morning, knocking on doors, bringing them daily words, or bringing them some stuff, some tapes, and say, follow this particular way. What we're here to do is allow that Christ presence within us to so shine that when they see us, they knock on our doors and ask, what did you do? What happened to you? I mean, I was checking you out. You were having some challenges and problems in your life, and you're still standing, joyous, like never before. So we don't need to convert. What we need to do is glow and radiate and shine and live our life, and others will drop their tools and follow us. We can announce to all and sundry that life is good because God is good, and we are the expressions of this presence, and we can have this joy any and all the time, and that is the joy of being holy. Let's live that as best we can and make a difference in our world. Peace and blessings to you. And now we have an opportunity to get into the flow of a principle that says, as you give, so shall you receive. And the giving is to support a community that's providing a space and a place for those who are looking to grow from where they are to where they can be as expressions of the presence of God. Whether it's coming to classes or workshops, seminars, men's and women's groups, youth ministry. These are opportunities for us to make a difference in people's lives. And as we make a difference in their lives, then they go out and make a difference in our world. So with that awareness and that consciousness, let us say our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
When there is love, I can't wait to talk about it when things get rough. I'd like to walk with you, or when it's night, I'd like to be the light that's missing and remind you every minute of the future isn't written. Now give. When there is love, and when the heart feels heavy, we can lighten it up. If you've had enough, well, you can empty your glass and we can fill it back up. You know it's up to us to make it all up. So once you make it up, I can make it up. That you could be loved no matter what. You know the only time is right now. Is right there where you are. You don't need a vacation when there's nothing to escape from singing. La 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 la. La 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 la, let's all sing la 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 la, laying it down. Everything is sound. Let's sing to be happy. to feel things, to communicate, be heard, or sing out to protest or to project and to harmonize with birds. Whether it's your birthday or your dying day, it's a celebration to rejoice and use your voice and give wings to any your choice. Whatever you're choosing right now is right where you are. You don't need a vacation when there's nothing to escape from. Send your vibrations and undulations to the highest they can go. Well, trust me, feel me. If it makes you wanna sing, then sing it. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let's all sing. Hallelujah, let it down. Everything is sound. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let's all sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's a song that I've forgotten often. It doesn't make me wrong, 'cause we all need the darkness to see the light, and I'm alright. Come on and sing it. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let's all sing. Hallelujah, let it down. Everything is sound. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let's all sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're connected now. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let's all sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're connected now. Hallelujah, hallelujah, let's all sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're connected now. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah. Wow, 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 wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julian.
Yes.
Julian has some CDs
Yes.
in the courtyard if you'd like to pick up his new CD.
Yes, he's got some more sound for you. I tell you, he does great work with that sound. No question about it. Everything is sound. That's great sound that Julian provides for us. So today we remember how to bring out that joy that's naturally within us. We bless the tithes and offerings to help provide a space for others to realize the truth of their being. And so we're going forth expressing this everywhere that we go. So thank you, ushers and greeters, for doing your part. And we say so in the name and the nature of the Spirit of the living God. And with that, let us join together and sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in earth
Before we say our prayer for protection, just a reminder of those who knew Kay Weiss